Hi folks, it's Kelvin here. We run coach for Leeds and surrounding areas as well as online coaching. In this little video, I'm going to share some thoughts on a part of heart rate training. So today I'm looking back at 4 races that I did throughout the summer, and I'm just checking in on my heart rate data. So I raced a 3-hour race and my heart rate was 165, a 2-hour race and my heart rate was 170, a 1.5-hour race and my heart rate was 173, and a 43-minute race and my heart rate was 178. So I've also looked at the heart rate files on those races, and they were pretty constant throughout the whole race. So I held the heart rate for, almost all of the time. So that shows that the races were well paced. So that heart rate distribution across those distances is what I would expect to see. Each race was well paced, so heart rate and pace didn't decouple at any time, so sort of leave each other. And I went pretty hard on all of those. So what am I going to learn from that? So the first thing I'm going to learn from that is I've set my threshold heart rate, so LT2, the top of zone 4 in a 5-zone model, at 175 beats per minute. So the first thing is my heart rate data from racing this summer confirms that's correct. So as I roll into the winter and the springtime, I know that my heart rate zones are set correctly. The other thing which I want to be the main focus of this video is, even though the heart rate distribution was really, let's say, good across those time scales, none of those races I look at my heart rate on my watch. So all of that is to perceived effort. So I don't have a heart rate screen on my watch whilst I'm racing. I do have my optical armband on to make sure that I'm going to get an accurate reading of heart rate, but all of those efforts are to perceived effort. So it's really important when we're training to bear this in mind, that we're not using the watch as a sort of speedometer or a kind of checking in on heart rate. It says I'm a little bit too high, I'm a little bit too low, and trying to adjust on the fly. The idea is to run our workouts to perceived effort and then check heart rate in retrospect. So we're actually using both of these to calibrate each other. We're using heart rate to calibrate perceived effort, and we're using perceived effort to calibrate heart rate. So we're just looking after the event. So if I do a threshold session, it's after the event, so after the workout, when I'll go back and I'll look to see where my heart rate was on the reps. Or I might go look back at a block of training and look at my time in heart rate zones for that block of training. But what I'm not doing is I'm not constantly looking at my heart rate on my watch whilst I'm training. So it's, there are a couple of reasons why I would check in periodically on it, which I've covered in other videos, but that's not to see if I'm in the right training zone. That's just to check at the start of a run to see whether I'm fatigued or not. If the heart rate's plus or minus 5 to 10 beats on what I'm expecting, it might show that I'm carrying fatigue. So a quick check-in at the start, and then I'm going to run the workout. And after the workout, I'm going to check in to see if I was somewhere near the heart rates that I'm expecting. So this is really quite important, to use these things to calibrate where we are, to make sure that we're not spending too much time in the wrong training zones. But the flip side of that is, whilst I'm actually running, I'm not actually worried, like workout to workout, if I am in the wrong training zones. I just make sure that if I'm doing a zone 2 run, and when I get back it's all in zone 3, and if that happens 2 or 3 times, I just know to recalibrate that perceived effort and go a little bit easier the next time I run. So I hope that makes some sort of sense, and if you've got any comments, please pop them down below. And for now, happy running.